guys, my name's Sophia, and today I'm going to be showing you my Shadowhunters fandom collection. I'm kind of a big fan now of the whole Shadow world, and so today I'm just going to be showing you my collection that I've grown of Shadowhunter props and my book collection. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my Shadowhunter shelf, as I like to call it, and it's basically a shelf in my bookcase that is completely dedicated to Shadowhunter stuff. Okay, so now that you've seen the shelf, I'm going to show you everything that I have on there one by one. Starting with the first Shadowhunter book that I got, and that was City of Bones. This is the TV show cover with Jason Clary on there. I got this book right after I started watching the show, and then once I read this first book, that was it. I was like in love with the whole fandom. To go in order of preference, I like the books best, then the TV show, and then the movie. I mean, I think they were all good, but I obviously like the books better because there's more detail and you go into everybody's story more. I actually had seen the movie when it first came out, but I had forgotten about it, and then when I started watching the TV show and I started to read the book, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this storyline before. So that's how I realized, like, I've kind of liked Shadowhunters for a while if you think about it. Okay. The next thing that I got after I finished reading the first City of Bones book was my box set, which is basically just all the books, with all the pictures. They're sliding out. My favorite book out of the whole series is probably City of Heavenly Fire, just because I know it's the last book and it's the longest, but the most happens in there, and yeah, it's my favorite one. So after I finished reading The Mortal Instruments, I was obviously very sad and lots of tears were shed, but I realized there was a whole nother series out there I could read, and that was when I got my Infernal Devices box set. I like this series as much as The Mortal Instruments. I don't really have a favorite book. I think they're all really great. And if I had to choose between Will and Tessa or Jem and Tessa, I would probably go with Jessa, just because I think they're really cute together. Although if I had to pick which one of the two I was more like, I would probably have to say Will Herondale, because I could be sarcastic and I love to read, obviously. So after I finished reading The Infernal Devices, that was when I ordered my Shadowhunter Codex and the Bane Chronicles, which I still haven't finished reading, but that was because I started to read Lady Midnight around that time. So I will say that I absolutely love my Shadowhunters Codex. Actually, most of the time I leave it with the book jacket off because I love the real cover. And another one of my favorite things to do is doodle all Shadowhunter runes everywhere. They are everywhere in all my notes from school. I really love the codex because of all of the artwork that's on the inside. I like that there's notes on the side from the characters. I also like that this is sort of like the Shadowhunter handbook, so there's all kinds of facts in here about different demons and a background on downworlders and institutes, table of selected marks, which is just all of the runes, which is awesome. I know there's a map of Idris in here somewhere, and I like how in the beginning they tell you, like, there's all of the oaths that Shadowhunters have to say, and they tell you about, like, choosing your Shadowhunter name. And if I had to choose my own Shadowhunter name, it would be Owlway. Those were the two words that I chose to make my Shadowhunter last name. This is my hardcover copy of Lady Midnight. I don't actually have the soft cover, but I got it when it first came out, and I was really excited about reading this book because I wanted to learn more about the Blackthorns and what was going on with them after the Dark War. So I read Lady Midnight, and then more recently Lord of Shadows came out, which I also got on hardcover. These books are like huge. I brought them into school to read, and my friends were looking at me like, that book is gigantic. I thought it was so cool when I got this book, and I opened up to the inside of the book jacket, and there's a whole bunch of new runes in here. That was all of them. It's a lot of runes. I thought it was so cool, and I tried drawing some of them, and some of them are really complicated. So yeah. The most recent book that I got was Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, which I haven't read at all actually, but now that I finished reading Lord of Shadows, I'll probably start reading it now. It's just a bunch of short stories, I guess, of Simon now that he's a human again and he's going to be a Shadowhunter, and he goes to the academy in Idris. So I guess these are a bunch of stories about what happens to him while he's there. I also ordered a couple of items off this website. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they sell like fandom props and stuff. So I ordered this book. I'm not reading the title because it's way too long. And inside, it's basically all of the characters from all of the Shadowhunter series and a whole little like bio about them, along with pictures of the characters. And it's organized by book. Not by book, by series. So, see here it says The Mortal Instruments, and then going in alphabetical order, there's all of the characters from The Mortal Instruments. The other item I ordered off this site is probably one of my favorite pieces of Shadowhunter art. Comes in this little bag, and it's basically cards, but every card has a different character on it. And there's a card for every character in the entire Shadowhunter world. And sometimes there's more than one people on the card. That's just to show you a few. There's like a whole bag full of them. Well, it's a big stack of cards. So that was everything as for official Shadowhunter merchandise. But then I also have this box that was on my shelf. And in this box is a bunch of miscellaneous objects that I found that I was like, oh, that looks like something out of Shadowhunters. So I bought this box, and in here I have, first thing is these bracelets, and they're all bendy and stuff, and they made me think of Isabel's whip, so I put those in here. I wore them when I dressed up as a Shadowhunter for New York Comic Con this year. I went as some Shadowhunter, nobody in particular. Yeah, so there's those. I have my own witchlight. I drew a little rune on there. I painted this rock and some other ones using glow-in-the-dark paint, so they actually do glow at night. Yeah, so there's those, and a bunch of little ones too. I have this little container of like powdered silver glitter. I was thinking maybe I would put it in a vial and it would look like the Yin Fen that Jem uses in that whole series. I have a couple of little tattoos, and this was from the Shadowhunter movie. There was a little box that I bought filled with stuff from there. I made this myself. This is my own stele, and I also painted the tip glow in the dark for some reason. But yeah, I used to pretend drawing runes on and stuff. This old looking key for some reason made me think of Tessa's necklace from Clockwork Angel. just because it looks very antique-y, almost like steampunk or something. I had bought a little wooden J and C because I was going to put it on the box and make the box the JC box, but never got around to doing that yet. So, and yeah, that was about it. There's just a few more witch lights in the bottom of the box. The last thing that I have to show you today is my seraph blade, which is just a plastic sword that I found at the dollar store. And yeah, but it kind of looks like a seraph blade, so it makes me feel cool. If by some small chance you were able to sit through this entire video and actually enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thank you.